responsible for restaurant marketing, this one's for you. The Restaurant Marketing Workshop is happening June 2nd and 3rd in Boston. Save 20% at restaurantmarketingworkshop.com using the code PODCAST. Welcome to the Restaurant Operator Podcast. I'm Mandy Detwiler, editor of Pizza Marketplace and QSRweb, and I'm here today with Susan Taylor, president and CEO of beverage brand Juice It Up. Susan, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I've got some questions for you, but first, why don't you tell us a little bit about Juice It Up and how you got involved with the brand?
Sure. So Juice It Up's a 30-year-old brand. We started in Southern California in 1995. We started with the core pillars of juice, smoothies, and açaí bowls. Açaí bowls we've been doing for 20 years now, but really, started as a concept that we're a franchisor, that folks that wanted to be able to own and have a local juice smoothie bar in their neighborhood or their area. And over the years, our core market is Southern California. We've been slowly expanding out of there. As I said, we added açaí bowls in 2005 and have been very successful with that too. That's a core pillar for our business now.
How many units do you all have?
We just opened our 100th location in Gardnerville, Nevada. Yeah, I was up there last weekend. We did an event where it was a beanie and a bowl for the first 100 that came through.
Okay.
On a Saturday, this last Saturday, and it's great to see the response that the community's had to Suk, who's the owner in that area.
Well, Juice It Up was beverage first before it was really a trend. How has the definition of a meal replacement evolved over the last 30 years?
That's a great question. I think that, meal replacement's always been part of that. I think, the way the perception of, smoothies and how the consumer uses them has evolved over the past 30 years. I think that people are really now looking for filling different need states. So going from just a recovery, smoothie for recovery after a workout to now, a meal replacement, or if you're looking for more protein, or if you're living a vegan lifestyle, having products that you're able to have to be able to, fuel your day has certainly helped the menu evolve over the past 30 years.
Right. You didn't used to see juice bars everywhere. And now
No.
Juice bars and boba shops are everywhere.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that the segment has grown. I mean, beverage as a complete segment, from everything from coffee to smoothies, juice bars. I think that consumers today are much more sophisticated and really looking for different things to be able to fuel their lifestyle. That has kind of expanded the category. We were one that we have been doing juice since the very beginning. During 2006, we actually expanded to a more complete raw juice bar. So you can still, depending on where you are in your health and wellness lifestyle, journey, you can come in and you can do a fresh made order juice using, beets, celery, carrots, ginger, turmeric, anything that you want to be able to have in that, or you can build your own. And there's a pretty dedicated core of customers that really look for that. You have folks that are coming in that are looking for more of a meal replacement protein occasion, being able to tide them over between lunch and dinner, or, breakfast and lunch, that we're able to really be able to provide.
We see a lot of Gen Z and millennial consumers shaping beverage trends in a big way. How is Juice It Up seeing those preferences show up in what guests are ordering today, and how has that influenced your beverage development?
I was at a conference a few years ago, and one of the speakers said something that really resonated with me, that said, you have your core menu items, but you have to constantly think about what the consumer 5 or 10 years from now is going to be asking for or should be on your menu. And so we spend a lot of time really looking at, what is out there, what seems to be either through social or just in visits to different areas, what seems to be popular, to be able to think about how we can bring that to our guests. But yeah, I think that the generations that are coming up now look at beverage in a totally different way from just I want something right now. That there's an experience, there's just what they're thinking about, what it provides to them from a nutritional standpoint, to just how they feel like they're treating themselves as well too.
Well, seasonal and limited time beverages are a big driver of excitement for your guests. How does Juice It Up approach seasonal innovations?
I think you have to think about the time of year that you're innovating in. Different times of the year, I think consumers are looking for different beverage occasions. So we really think about, I'll give an example. The first quarter, a lot of times folks are coming out of the holidays. They're looking to, maybe eat a little cleaner, get ready for the spring and the summer. So they're looking for products that can help them do that. So we really look at what do we have within our core products that we can market, and then what can we innovate in that can help fill that need state during that time of year. For quarter one this year, one of our most popular menu items, and it's been on our menu for 30 years, is a product called the Zone. It's a specialty smoothie that's protein infused. And so we've done a line extension of that with a blackberry zone and a strawberry zone. So it allows people to come in. There's different flavors, but it still fills that need state that we think a lot of guests are looking for. During the summer, we look at things that maybe are a little more hydrating or a lower viscosity because it does get warmer, and you want to be able to provide products that people are going to be drinking on the go or when it gets warm. Obviously, in the holiday season, the everybody kind of takes the rails off a little bit. So you're thinking about a more indulgent, flavorful. So we really look at that, and then we really think about what do we have in our menu that would complement that within that time frame. And really, as far as innovation, it is still going out looking at what's out there, what flavors are trending, what should we be considering, what are our guests asking for as well too.
When you see a traditional QSR like McDonald's or Taco Bell or KFC racing to beef up their beverage menus, what is the one legacy mistake you see them making?
Um, I would think about how that actually fits within the way that people consider their brand, right? You don't there's some trends that I'm not going to chase because it doesn't fit within the way that people use our brand or the way they consider us. So I would really think about the products that I'm bringing in or what I'm presenting to the guest. Is that what the guests that know me and use me are really going to order or asking for? So it still seems authentic. I think that consumers today, and especially the younger generations, I think they can sniff out products that don't seem to be in line with what the brand offers, or don't seem like they're a product that brand should be serving.
From your perspective, how do limited time and seasonal offerings help drive trial, loyal, and repeat visits, especially among younger consumers discovering the brand for the first time?
Uh, I I think that being able to again innovate, look at what flavors or trends are kind of out there, and looking at ways that we can present it within kind of the guardrails of what our brand is all about. We've done that in the past. We A few years ago, we had looked at lavender, and at that time it was more of a niche, but we put together a lavender LTO and put it out there, and we had some folks that really liked it, and we've had it come back 2 years since in LTOs. That it's great. It's grown in popularity every year, and now we get a lot of our guests asking, Why isn't it on the regular menu? We did the same with, we have a huge Hispanic base in the Inland Empire, and we've done a collaboration with Tajín, and we did some differentiated type of beverages that we ran as LTO, and it's now on the permanent menu board as well too. So I think you can look at all those different flavors or what consumers may be asking for or experimenting with, and then think about how you make it something within what what products that you actually serve that fits within that.
Right. As a legacy brand, Juice It Up has seen beverage trends come and go. Um, how do you how are you modernizing flavors and formats and messaging to stay relevant, especially in a crowded market?
I think to your point, trends come and go, right? And you don't want to jump on every trend. I think it's really spending time. We do a lot of research. As I said, we spend a lot of time out in the field looking at what's going on in the market. We spend a lot of time looking on social, what's out there, what people are experimenting with, and then look at how that applies to our menu, and then look at what we have as far as a legacy menu. What are things that we would need to, you know, either update or look at a different version of that with the flavors and the function that we think that the consumer of today would be interested in using, right?
Drinks today are just as functional as they are delicious. Currently, are your customers interested in energy and focus or immunity and gut health? What are they interested in right now?
Protein. I mean, I think that's
Protein?
everybody's been
Yeah.
talking about that. It was interesting during COVID, right when it happened. I joined the brand in 2019 in the fall, and the summer of 19, they had run an LTO using acerola, which I don't know if acerola is a Brazilian superfruit that is loaded in immunity, and it didn't do well, right? It wasn't in people's consideration set. When COVID happened, we brought it back, and it went off the chart. So I think you have to listen to what the consumers are asking for as well too, or what they're looking at. So we try to have different products. We talk about equal parts flavor and function, but things that can help people with whatever they're looking for in their diet, or what they want to be able to fulfill a need state in.
How can heritage brands innovate without losing the trust and familiarity that originally built their following?
I think you have to have a real clear, you kind of have that North Star of why people came to you in the beginning, and everything that you innovate around should kind of um, you know, work within that North Star. For us, it's flavor and function, right? We want to make sure that people that come in, we have great tasting great tasting products, and products that can also fill a need state, right? I'm not going to, we've looked at what we can do adjacently. This last year, we brought in. We call them toasted favorites, but we brought in, some toasts that our guests really liked, and we're looking more in things that we can bring in that complement the beverages that we have, or food items that folks would want. But I'm not going to bring in a fryer and fries in the next year. We know what our brand is, why people love our brand, and we're trying to continue to stay in the forefront without losing what made us special in the first place.
What are the most popular flavors right now? What are people into?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's I and California maybe Southern California may be a little different than other parts. We um, mango, guava is popular. We're we've had a horchata smoothie that we bring back at the in the holiday that does really well, and guests really love. I think that we did a lychee LTO last year that did very well, as we're always looking at what's happening in the markets around us to be able to try to look at what folks are looking for. I mean, texture is also something that I think we look at when we're innovating within beverage too, especially down here. You know, people just a straight smoothie. There may be opportunity to be able to do some things with that guests are going to be asking for.
Okay. I love mango and I love guava
Yeah,
both. So
yeah.
mango is my favorite. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, we do in the summer. We do if you ever go to the islands, you get the pog, the passion orange guava.
Guava.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a really delicious summer LTO smoothie that we did last year, and we're bringing back again this summer because it was super popular, and just those flavors, are so bright, and I think really what people are looking for.
Well, you guys recently celebrated your 100th location. What does that milestone represent for the brand?
I think for me, it's about all the hard work that our franchisees have done over the past 30 years to be able to build the brand up. Certainly, over the past 6 years, we've seen tremendous growth in just the existing store base in the sales for the legacy franchisees. But I think it just really illuminates how resilient this brand is, and that the guests that we have and the new guests that we're creating really really love us.
With wellness and functionality top of mind for many guests, how is Juice It Up continuing to evolve its beverage strategy to meet expectations around flavor, function, and overall experience?
I think we look at as far as innovation, looking at what is not popular, but what folks are going to be considering. Thinking about how we bring that in a unique way, with the way that we present our drinks, and then from an experience standpoint, a lot of the younger generation now eats with their eyes. Everything's Instagrammable, and so really thinking about how that's presented in a fun way. But we also have to think about, from an operation standpoint, how easy it is for our operators and our teams to be able to deliver that product consistently and easily in the stores too.
What do you think is the future of the beverage industry? How is the smoothie juice and acai bowl category evolving? And where do you see yourself leading or innovating within that space?
I think that it's going to continue. I mean, beverage as a total segment is, on fire. I think within this space, I think a lot of it's going to be in the specialty categories, ones that, products that really do fit or meet a specific need state for the consumer. And I think bowls continue to grow and build. We've been doing bowls since for over 20 years. Acai bowls are in our DNA, and we've just seen that segment continue to grow and grow and grow over the past 20 years. Specialty smoothies last year was our number one category, right? So definitely consumers are coming in and looking at what can I do to fuel my day, and what function do I want to be able to get within that beverage to do that.
If you had a piece of advice to give to a fledgling operator, someone just entering the beverage industry, what would you tell them?
I would. That's a.
That's your Miss
I would.
America question.
I know. I know. I would probably say be very clear about within this space. There's a lot of competitors, so understanding whatever the products are, or what you're trying to deliver, how that fits within that competitive set, what your point of differentiation is, and staying true to that as you enter the space, right?
Right. Okay. Well, we are out of time. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this episode of the Restaurant Operator Podcast, and we'll catch you next time.